Hey guys, go grab yourself a cup of your favorite tea because it is tea time. I have jasmine green tea here in my leaf strainer, and today I am going to talk to you about food, my kind of diet, my food choices, my relationship with food, and my relationship or kind of my thoughts on animal products. Yeah, I asked you to send me some questions through Instagram as always, and I'm also going to just kind of explain my where I stand in general. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. But before I get started, I have a really exciting little announcement for you. I don't know if you've noticed my beautiful wooden watch. I've worn it in, I think I've worn it in a couple of videos and a outfit post on my blog, but this is a new watch that I got from Yode. Yode make amazing, gorgeous, great quality wood watches, and I am going to be giving away one of these watches, or just one of their watches in general. You get store credit from their store, so you can pick one out for yourself. I will have a link in the description box, or you can go to enter the giveaway. Everything you need to do will be on the website, and one of you will win one of these gorgeous watches. I will also have a discount code just for all of the website down there, in case you would like to purchase something off of there. I already have a very light kind of woody wood watch from them, if that makes any sense, but this is a really beautiful darker wood one with rose gold detailing, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Isn't it just beautiful? Oh, I love it so much. I've been wearing it almost every single day since I got it. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so giveaway, all the details will be in the description box. Good luck if you're entering. Announcement over, let's move into the video. Okay, tea is back. So let me begin by just giving you maybe a brief overview of what food means to me and the role that food plays in my life. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 18, and I had next to no experience with cooking before that. So that is pretty much when I learned to cook, and I wasn't really interested in cooking that much. I would cook together with my roommates, and we'd make very simple dishes, kind of your typical beginner, pasta and salads and stuff like that. So yeah, we would cook together, and she was a vegetarian. She had been a vegetarian for years, and I didn't really care for meat. I never really particularly cared for meat. I always felt a little bit iffy about any type of meat where I could tell that it was from a dead animal, and that always just made me feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I always only ate the very processed type of meat, like nuggets and burgers and things like that. So I had no problem at all just eating vegetarian food when we ate together, and then at a certain point we both just started cooking for ourselves, as our schedules kind of didn't match up anymore, and I never really started cooking meat. Yeah, I didn't like it enough to pay the price that it costs, because it is quite expensive. So that is kind of the beginning of how I became a vegetarian. So kind of simultaneously I began to enjoy cooking more. I started experimenting more. I started to really enjoy putting together different flavors and everything. As I was getting more into cooking and preparing my own food, I became a lot more conscious of what I'm eating, kind of where my food is coming from, and I just felt like I don't need meat in my life. It still took a little while before I actually started to refuse meat when other people cooked it for me, and stopped buying it when it was already prepared. Like, I would go and eat hamburgers pretty regularly. I love hamburgers. Yeah, first thing I stopped eating completely, or just buying completely, was pork. This is gonna sound weird, but I have a really special relationship with pigs. And I just felt really, really uncomfortable eating pork. So that was the first thing I cut out, and then it didn't take very long before I cut out other types of meat as well. I did continue to eat fish though. I still eat fish very occasionally, now and then, now. Yeah, so I have been a pescatarian for quite a while now, a few years. I've just been getting more and more and more into food. I love cooking. Food is quite a big part of my life, I would say. I really enjoy eating and I enjoy cooking, so yeah, sometimes when I make vlogs, people comment like, is your life all about food? And I'm like, well, no, but I just love food a lot. I really enjoy food, and I really enjoy kind of preparing it and everything. So yeah, I think about food a lot. I eat all the time. I have a very small stomach, so I eat loads of little meals, kind of scattered throughout the day. I'm definitely not a 3 meals a day type of person. I couldn't stand that. Somewhere last year, I'd say around halfway through last year, I started looking into veganism and kind of a plant-based diet a little bit more. And I'm gonna be honest with you here, and I'm kind of scared of sharing this because this is a very controversial topic, but I had known about veganism for a long time, obviously. But I was very put off, I'm gonna be honest here, I was very put off by the vegan community. Them being very aggressive and almost kind of religious about it made me kind of turn away from veganism. Even though I was definitely open to eating plant-based, just the aggression of these people online made me be like, no. And I know that is really stupid, but that is what happened. But last summer I kind of, for some reason, was able to look past that, and I found some vegan kind of online influencers that are normal, kind of like rational, kind people that just talk about, you know, veganism in a very rational way, and they presented some very interesting points, and I was like, yeah, okay, I don't really think I need animal products in my life anymore. I don't really enjoy animal products that much, or I can enjoy. I mean, I love cheese. I really like yogurt and stuff like that. I won't miss eggs at all, but I love some dairy products. But what bothers me most is kind of all the hidden animal products. Like enjoying a good piece of cheese, that's all right. You know, you know what you're eating. You're consciously enjoying a piece of cheese. But what really bothers me is, for example, why is there milk powder in crisps? Like just potato crisps. Why does it need to have milk in it? And just all these kind of hidden, unnecessary animal products, those really bother me. This is the most chaotic story I've ever told, I think. Sorry if this makes no sense at all. Around October of last year, I decided to start eating plant-based at home. So just plant-based as much as possible, whenever it is possible, and just eat vegetarian whenever it would be very hard to get vegan food. It's always possible to eat vegan, but I don't want, like, food is a big part of my life, but I don't want my life to be about food, and I don't want my food choices to hinder me in living life like normal people do. Not that vegans are normal, but you get what I mean, right? I just want to be able to live like everybody else while still making conscious decisions as often as possible. That's just where I'm at right now. So right now, I am not ready to ask people to cook vegan food for me yet. I have been a vegetarian for a long time. Everybody kind of knows what vegetarian food to cook me, and I'm okay with that. So when other people cook for me, I just eat vegetarian food. Or when I'm at a restaurant and there aren't any vegan options, I will order a vegetarian dish. When I'm cooking or I'm buying the food or I'm kind of like providing the food, then it's always vegan. When I buy something at a store that is ready-made, I'll try to make sure that it is vegan as well. But I am technically not a vegan. Many vegans would argue that I am not a vegan at all. First of all, because I will still eat animal products occasionally, including fish. And secondly, because I'm not against using animal products as a concept. I am very much against the way it is done nowadays in kind of our society this day and age. I am absolutely fine with eating backyard eggs from Happy Backyard Chicken, not fine with eating chicken or with eating eggs from kind of like, factory farm chickens. Not okay with factory farming in general, and I would like to contribute to that as least as I can. So that is kind of where I'm trying to go. Oh, something else that bothers me about the vegan community online. This is a generalization, by the way. I know not everybody's like that, but the very kind of black and white, all or nothing mentality. You know, you're never good enough or vegan enough for them. I personally think every single time you make the decision to eat something plant-based rather than something that is animal derived, you're making a good decision and you're already doing better than the person next to you that's eating a piece of bacon. So I like to kind of keep a positive outlook on that. I make the choice to eat something plant-based a lot in my life, not 100% of the time, but loads and loads and loads and loads more than your average person. I think as time progresses, I will start eating plant-based even more, especially as I become less dependent on other people cooking for me. Right now I spend 2 nights a week at my parents' house and 1 at my boyfriend's parents' house, and they cook for me and I don't want to be too much trouble for them because I already think it's so kind of them to cook for me, you know. Let's move on to your guys' questions. Oh, so someone asks, is my family and Robert vegetarian or vegan? No, both my family and Robert and his family are all kind of omnivores. So I'm the only vegetarian with strong vegan preferences. Is there a label for what I'm doing? No, so my family isn't, Robert isn't either. I'd say the majority of my friends are vegetarians, and more of them are going vegan as well, or part-time vegan, kind of like I'm doing. What changes have you noticed since stopping meat and dairy products, specifically your energy levels and immunity? This isn't going to be the answer that you hear from kind of all the very activist vegan people online, but as far as energy levels go, nothing changed whatsoever, and my immunity is terrible. However, I do not think that that is due to my diet, because I have a very healthy diet, I think, and I don't think I have any deficiencies. I think my immunity is poor for different reasons, but yeah, I cannot say my diet has helped me with that in any case. Do you have a favorite dessert? I don't feel like I see you eat sweets very much. Yes, that is right. I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I definitely prefer snacking on savory things, salty things. I love potato crisps. Those are my kind of biggest vice. And just nuts and coated nuts and nuts with spices, and just, yeah, I just love savory snacks, crackers, and love it. So it is true, I don't eat that many sweets. I do eat them occasionally. I really like a piece of dark chocolate every now and then. Luckily, dark chocolate is often vegan, so that's great. Other than that, yeah, not much of a sweet tooth, so I'm usually good with just a little bit of dark chocolate every now and then. Do you feel committed to being vegan forever, or would you go back to eating meat? The way things are right now, I can definitely see myself going more vegan sooner than going back to eating meat. I feel very, very uncomfortable with eating meat. I am not necessarily against it as a concept. Again, I am against animal farming. Eating meat the natural way, I'm not against that as a concept. I just don't want to do that myself personally. That is not an ideology thing, that is just a personal feeling. I'm just very uncomfortable with eating meat, knowing that, you know, it is a dead animal. The chances of me ever eating meat again are so slim. It's not appealing to me at all. You always seem to eat such healthy, balanced, delicious looking meals. Thank you! Did you grow up eating that kind of food and learning to cook from your family, or did you teach yourself later on? So, I have been brought up on pretty healthy food. Yeah, I think my mom did a really good job raising her kids on a healthy diet. I did kick it up a notch when I moved out and started cooking my own food. I definitely think I eat even healthier now that I'm cooking my own food, and that is just because I really, really love vegetables, and I just incorporated a lot more veggies into my diet. I do eat differently than my parents do, but I have been brought up with a pretty healthy diet. Oh, here's an interesting one. In my experience, it's pretty easy to be vegan or vegan-ish while living alone and cooking for myself, but it's different when I go home for certain holidays or special occasions that involve animal-based traditional foods from my culture/family. I don't want to miss on the shared experience, and I also don't want to offend others. And also, there are foods I have a connection to with those holidays. What is your experience with that? Have you found any way of navigating it? This is exactly the type of situation where I personally say for myself that being vegan is too hard or too much of an effort right now that I'm not willing to put in. For me, this happens a couple of times a year. It is with Christmas, and when I go to see my grandparents in Slovakia. I know it sounds terrible, but the way I kind of see it is those 3 times a year, let's say is 3 days a year, I value my family's feelings more than kind of eating a vegan diet. So I will just eat the traditional food on those days. I mean, it's 3 days out of the year. Most people are eating meat every single day. You're still making a huge difference when you're vegan all the rest of the year. So that is kind of how I feel about this right now. Those are exactly the type of situation where I would still eat animal products. I will try my hardest to avoid eating meat, but everything else I will kind of, I will just eat it. How come you always drink your tea straight without honey or any kind of sweetener and still love it? I can't drink infusions or tea without my honey. It's really funny you should say that, because I actually do not like any sweetener in my tea. I think it makes it just... like I mentioned, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I really prefer savory things or things that are neutral. Actually, the sweeter something is, the less I like it. Pure tea all the way. I just like it better that way. I don't know. What do you think when people try vegan but end up going vegetarian. Well, that is, like I mentioned before, this is the thing about all or nothing. It's not all or nothing. Every single time you make a decision to make a more kind of animal-friendly food choice, it is a good decision. So don't feel bad when, you can't give up cheese right away. I know many people struggle with cheese. I struggle with cheese. Every time you don't eat the cheese, it's okay. And if you do end up eating it one time a week, let's say, then that is okay as well. Going vegetarian from being an omnivore is already a huge, huge step in the right direction. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just be a vegetarian for a while. And then when you're comfortable to drop something more, drop something more. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Every step in the right direction is a good one. Talking about your relationship with food, have you ever had any body image issue that was linked with food, like binge eating or avoiding food? I know it's quite a private issue, so only answer if you feel comfortable. And then she shares a personal story. Not sure if you want me to read that, so I'm gonna stop here. But not really, or nothing serious in any case. I was a very, very skinny child when growing up. I went through that stage in early puberty where you kind of get taller but not wider. So I was really, really thin, and I was very self-conscious about that. I felt like I didn't look feminine, and I looked at my friends that had, a little bit of curve, some hips, a little bit of breast going on, and I felt like I didn't look feminine enough. I felt like I looked very childish and kind of almost sickly, I'll be honest. So I tried to kind of get some fat onto my body. It never worked. I'm one of those people that can eat anything and never gain weight. Now I'm happy with it. Back then I hated it. I tried eating like 5 donuts a day to gain weight, but it didn't work. But that is pretty much the only time I changed anything about my diet to have to do with appearance. So luckily this has never been an issue for me in my life. Oh, this is an interesting one as well. Is Robert vegetarian/vegan? And if not, how do you manage to cook for you both, considering that you want to move in together? So yeah, like I mentioned, Robert is an omnivore. It is a little bit complicated, but maybe not as complicated as you'd think. I imply the whole kind of vegan and vegetarian thing. When he is cooking for me, I won't get mad when he uses a little bit of cheese to sprinkle on top or anything. Or I'll ask him to, leave it off of my dish. Usually I'm the one who's cooking, so he'll just have to eat whatever I'm making. He is not one of those people that demands a piece of meat with every single meal, which is great. He does enjoy a piece of meat on occasion every now and then, but we do talk about this every now and then, kind of like the ethics of eating meat and kind of like how we feel about it. And he has expressed that he would like to eat less meat when he moves out of his parents' house. It is kind of very readily available for him there, and it is hard for him to kind of resist eating it when it's there and he likes it so much. So I can understand that. But I think when we move in together and there just won't be any meat, he won't miss it as much. So yeah, whenever I'm cooking, I absolutely refuse to cook meat. So he knows that if he wants a piece of meat, he will have to cook it for himself and buy it himself as well. We have agreed that all the meat he buys will be organic and that it will be limited to, once or twice a week. Right now, whenever he's over here, he just eats vegan food. And when we move in together, he will probably eat predominantly vegan food as well, and maybe buy himself a piece of quality organic meat every now and then. And that is all right with me. I don't feel like it's my job to make him stop eating meat. I don't think that's how it works anyway. It has to come from within or it just won't work. Due to body image issues and working hard to overcome them, the last thing I want is to restrict myself in what I can or can't eat. The thought of having foods that are bad and good is just not something I want in my life. How are you dealing with this? Very good question, and one that I have thought about, and I have a very clear answer to this. I don't think about good or bad food at all. It is not like that for me at all. How to explain this in a good way? Sometimes I get people asking me, are you allowed to eat this? Or can you, or like, are you allowed to have this? And I always say, I am allowed to eat everything. I just don't want to eat this. Like, it's very much as soon as I kind of became really conscious of how animal products are produced, I instantly stopped wanting them. My relationship with those foods just kind of changed. To me, it's pretty much like, for example, eating sand or something. Like, imagine people started eating sand and you were like, I don't want to eat sand. it's not because you think sand is bad for you, but just because you have no desire at all to eat sand. And that is kind of what meat is like for me. When I see meat, I have no desire whatsoever to eat it. I would much rather eat all the kind of delicious vegetable food. I think it's more that my positive connotation, especially with meat, just disappeared when I kind of found out more about how it's produced and everything. It's not that I forbid myself to eat it, I just don't want it anymore. It's a very different kind of mindset. It's hard to explain, I guess, if you don't understand, but it's a really different... I'm not forbidding myself anything. I'm not telling myself I can't have things. That is why I still eat non-vegan food every now and then. When I get a craving, I will just give into it. As long as it's not happening all too often, I'm completely fine with that. I will indulge, I will eat a piece of cheese every now and then, and there is nothing that I cannot have. There are just some things that I don't want to eat, or things that I don't want to eat too often. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know anything about eating disorders, so I don't know how this works in a kind of disordered mind. But for me, this is it's kind of flipped for me. It's not that I can't, it's just that I honestly do not want to. And it's not something I have to tell myself, because it is my genuine emotion when I look at animal products. I'm just like, Oh, and as far as good as bad foods go, in terms of what is healthy and what isn't, I definitely allow myself indulgences. As long as I still feel like my overall balance of the day is on the healthy side, I will definitely eat my pack of crisps in the evening. I will have a piece of chocolate after lunch. I will eat cake when there's a birthday. I just don't care about that. As long as you're healthy overall, I will not deny myself an indulgence pretty much ever. I try to not go overboard with it, but yeah, as long as I feel good, I feel healthy, and I am getting all my nutrients in, I'm not bothered about unhealthy food at all. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop here because I have been talking for a ridiculously long time. Thank you for watching. If you have anything you would like to say on this topic, feel free to leave a comment. Please keep it respectful. I would like to have kind of a mature, intelligent conversation going on down there. I'm fine with discussions, just keep it respectful and kind of mature. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will have a link in the description box. Thank you. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking here or on the red button below. I will have another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!